Welcome back. This is Solana on the 666 SMA, which is the white line, and the 333 SMA, which is the blue line. This is a simple moving average trading strategy that I'm using, where you follow the rules of accumulate below the 666, the white, and you want to distribute when it's above it. Okay? It's, and it's to expand above it with the blue, and then you want to start distributing it. So you want to wait for the expansion. Okay, so explaining again here, I want to mark the crosses for these. If you want to learn more about this, this is located, not located, but it's already in the other videos that I have that explains some of them in finer detail, and they're a little bit longer, but they go over the the who, what, the why, and the how it works. Okay, all the details of it. There's even a 1 minute time frame live trading one of it, right? I don't recommend doing it unless you know what you're doing. Okay, you got to be good at it. I don't recommend doing it at all, in fact, because it's you got to be really good discipline. Even if you were to try to follow the rules on it, at some point you will probably panic. All right, so it's not going to work out, and you're going to need to be well seasoned. Anyways, I think this moving average right here for Coinbase is just not showing, but the other charts they did, and I believe it was at $74 for Solana. It's above this level here, so where it crossed. So this line is actually something like this, just to make it more clear. So this cross actually happened like this. I think it was something like that. It's not gonna be perfect, but either way, it's still within the same range. It's only a few dollars off. And what I'm saying is that scene of the crime is where the cross is at. Okay, that's where I like to say that that's the beginning of the end for that cycle, or for that phase at least, right? Bear market phase, bull market phase. Crossing up like this, beginning of the end of the bull market phase. As you can see, you start to see heavy distribution as you enter this expansion, heavy distribution into this phase, heavy accumulation into this phase. Okay, that's the end of it. By the time you get to this cross right here, if you are a confirmation trader, so to speak, you would be entering at this point already, and your gains would only be as high as that, and you would be distributed into, which means that you would be, not that you won't make any gains, it's just the fact that you will be living in Chop City to the point where you're probably not going to be able to stomach it, and you'll sell when it's right back to where you were, and you'll get right back into a new high afterwards, and you'll sell at a lower again, and then you'll get stuck in this limbo to the point where it'll just be, yeah, you know what I mean. I think plenty of us know what it feels like. So what I'm saying is respect the line, respect how the move is, and you do it. This is why you get in when it says accumulate when you're below the 666. The larger the move it is to the downside when you're below the 666, you want to start looking for positions already. You need to do it during the expansion, meaning that you want to start accumulating, whether it's here in the middle, here, wherever it is. You want to start positioning yourself, but buy when it's the scariest below the 666. So that way when it comes back up and you do get the signal to get back in, and to get in for the confirmation for the bull, you're already over 1,000% up in Solana. That's what I'm saying. You are front running the entire move up already because the line told you to do so. All right. I'm looking to solve the most challenging problem, which is when. All right. If you really want to know how to master the when, you gotta be at the desk. Okay? You gotta be working. You gotta be grinding at the desk to figure out when. All right. And mastering the when is one of the things I strive for. Right. So going back up to this point is when you want to already. I'm not gonna say take your profits. If you're already over 1,000% up, I'm not saying it's even on leverage. It's just on spot. Right. It makes sense for you to at least cut some profit off. If you don't want to cut it off here, you might as well set your stop losses and trail it up, right? Or you can scale your way out. Either way, you are following the strategy of distribution, which you should be distributing it on the way up. Okay, that's the entire point of this. I tell you when. That's how this works. Super simple. 2 lines. Okay, 2 lines, and these are based on certain dates that they occurred. Why I say scene of the crime? in this in the horizontal line, because when it likes to come back down in terms of candle price action, we like to come back down and revisit the scene of the crime. And scene of the crime tends to be these areas to where you get previous highs in the moving average. Just like if I was to say this, let me really show you how it is, okay? Let me turn off all the candles so we stop looking at all the noise, and I want you to just draw your high of your moving average, and I want you to draw your low, your moving average, and that's your range. It will come back to those ranges, okay? You're getting you're getting across already on the daily for Solana. If you're getting across a death cross like this, it doesn't mean it's going to drop instantly. It just means that it's already showing you that it wants to come back to a certain point that is an average price to the where the market is accepting it at. All right, and I think it's already been priced in at some point to where, I mean, you're already getting a lot of interest rate changes and everything like that too, which doesn't really matter that much in terms of somebody like me, because I'm just dealing with the entire overall, breadth and, like how the market's moving, right? So let me turn on the candles again. And to keep it simple, if you want to sleep at night, you let the trend do its thing. Let it come to you. It'll come to you. And when it does come to you, because it's already crossed, this is the beginning of the end of the bear market. Does this mean it's going to end right away? No, it means that you could experience the entire drop to expand this first. That's what I'm saying. It needs a large drop to even drag this large of a moving average down. All right. But does that mean it's going to happen? No, it doesn't mean anything. It just means that you have a good shot at it hitting this high and sustaining this high like it has. But since this high has already failed once right here, and it came up and it couldn't make it to a new high, right? It probably did. It looked like it went to a new high with a wick, right? But it doesn't mean it's going to be over. It means that you have a good chance of it doing something similar to that, to where we could be sideways in this range, in a sense like this, right? To where you would actually go below it and actually hit the first scene of the crime over here, because this area here is where it had a lot of what do you call it? Fake out before, to where it faked up and then it broke that point and broke this level here and went below into the lower trenches, right? Which means that it gives us a chance to do some similar idea of a fake to the upside like this. But it doesn't mean it's going to break above the 666, because if it does, promise you that the only way it's going to break above the 666 is if it really just flies through. But if it makes up to 666, it's going to dump even faster, which means that it will come back down to these lower levels, right? So it will probably do something like this, to where it will make it back this way, dance around this entire range. And that's what I'm saying. Like, Solana might be able to just dance around this entire range and come right back up to revisit this entire area again, making the entire what do you call it, accumulation, end up in this area. If we don't make it back into this level down below like this, if we do not make it back to this low level and by a certain date, I would say by the time we get closer to the halving, which is roughly 2027, if we don't make it there by that time, I'm gonna say that, especially if we're stuck just hanging around, dancing around here this entire 2026 going to 2027, we're going to get a huge divergence inside of this daily, and it's going to follow Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will go over $200,000. Solana and then Ethereum will break to brand new highs, will most likely $20,000, and Solana will go to brand new highs as well. Everything will pop, and the entire market will be back, but it might take probably to 2028, right? Which could be 2 years. It's a typical bear market 2-year structure. And so I would say hanging on to that point, buying all the lows and following this accumulation strategy is going to position yourself for the proper wins. It's not, like I said, this isn't financial advice. This is the point to where you're just going to be able to find, you're getting blessed with time, right? To be able to acquire capital or even to be able to position yourself correctly. If you're chasing gold and silver right now, go for it. You're going to outperform these guys anyways, because they're not going anywhere yet. Most likely you're going to be able to make something, dump those profits into these assets. I would do that. I have some gold and silver at this point, so it makes sense, to have the winners and eventually run the winners' profits into the losers by accumulating. Because why? It's not because it's the right thing to do. It's because the rules are telling me that. All right. Here, let me go to gold. All right. I'll just go to gold real quick. It's super simple. Look at this. What is this telling me right now in terms of the moving average? It's telling me to accumulate. No, it's telling me to distribute. Where am I distributing into? Should I distribute into stable or dollars? Should I do that? Right? Should I do it? In general, it would just be better if you distribute directly into whatever the other one is, if there's a tokenized version of gold, right? But if there's not, yeah, I mean, do what you got to do to do it. It's based on how you're going to do it, but you're still taking profit for it and moving it over to something else. It's rotation of your investment, okay? And this is what I'm saying, that it could drop like this for Solana. It might almost cross, but it doesn't mean it won't go down though. It has to go down to almost cross, and then it'll come back up and dance around there for another year, and then you lost your chance, thinking that there's going to be a bear market, like a traditional bear market in crypto, right? But it does touch the lows, okay? Did it touch the scene of the crime? No, it did not. And this is why I'm saying that does it have to touch the scene of the crime? It doesn't have to all the time. All right, and this is why it comes down to where is it different this time? It could be, right? It could be different this time, and because you have a far more, hands on deck at this point, right? And on top of that, you got Wall Street that's invaded your entire, precious cryptocurrency and Bitcoin space. They're not gonna run the game like that you've been seeing it before. You don't even see double-digit green days anymore on spot. You barely see it. In fact, you see more double-digit red days than you see double-digit greens, right? So I'm saying that it's smart to just have these levels built for preparation. It's not prediction, it's preparation, right? And so that's what I'm saying for the right thing to do for going forward when it comes down to what I'm doing about this too. Doesn't mean I'm right. It just means that I'm following my rules, okay? And if you have rules, you're gonna have a higher chance of surviving. Okay, so overall, if we get to the lows, I'm saying you're blessed. You're blessed. Take the shot. Okay, it's just not. It just can't be something to where you're taking a shot on something like Terra Luna, right? You really have to be, vigilant with what you're investing in by actually knowing the homework and understanding it at the same time, knowing what's happening, because you have time. Look how slow these moves take. You have plenty of time. You're allowing yourself enough slack to, be able to read the tape, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like something simple like this. If there's any questions, just put in the comments. Otherwise, you like what you see here, subscribe and keep up. All right, keep up with this. It's super simple to follow something like this. At the same time, you can use this on a 1 minute, 1 hour, whatever time frame. Yeah, let me go real quick before I go. 1 hour time frame. If you were to mess around with Solana 1 hour time frame. What is the rules? Distribute when you're above the 666, accumulate when you're below 666. What is the rules here? Below the 666, an expansion, right? Here, it's starting to expand here, right? A really simple one. I gotta fix this. Okay, so you're expanding here. I'm just going off of a really quick idea. Here, expansion like this. You're already on the downside. Even if you're to catch something here, even if you were to buy something here, you don't need to buy here. It doesn't even matter. You're below the 666. When you are above it, coming back up, you are exiting around these areas already. Okay, that's what I'm saying, and that's why your average will start to go down as long as you position yourself correctly. And if you miss that, accumulate some more below it and distribute some more above it. You see what I'm saying? It's not about getting the perfect hit. It's about getting the when correctly. All right, that teaches you something way more what do you call it, important than being right. All right, in my opinion, based on my experience, I would rather choose to know when than just be right. All right, because plenty of rights is that I should have taken my profit. You see, you end up in a psychological revenge loop when you try to be right. It's just the intention of trying to impress something, right? And that never ends up good at all. It's better to just know the when part. And the when part is not me knowing when because I chose the when. It's me getting obeying when based on this indicator. All right, and it's just something that I'm saying. Some one line that could be disciplining you as a symbolic training wheel to train your psychology to understand patience, right? And you might even learn how to respect yourself a bit more too. At the end of the day, I have. All right, so that's it. If there's anything like that you like here, just subscribe, follow this, and see where we end up. Any questions? Just post it on the comments, and I'll see you at the scene of the crime. Later, guys.